Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Super Paper Mario. This is episode 83. Yeah, 83. In the last episode, we got through a little part of Dementure's area, and when I say little, I mean very little. I mean, we got through 2 doors. We got to the 3rd room, so I guess that's progress. Progress is progress, right? In this episode, though, I do think I make quite a bit more progress, and I did find the mirror we were supposed to go through. Thankfully, I looked online. Hey, but that's what the internet's for, right? I remember, I don't know where I heard a conversation about this. Hold on, let me cough first. Alright, now let's talk. I remember somewhere reading that, like, I guess the internet and, like, new games and stuff are much more babyish and hold-your-handish than older games. I've always kind of had an opinion on this. I've actually always kind of disagreed. I feel like there's a lot of games, there's a lot of secrets you almost want to have guidebooks for. Like, I remember playing The Legend of Zelda. What game was it? The first Zelda game I played. I think it was Ocarina of Time. I'm pretty sure it was Ocarina of Time. I feel like I should remember that. Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game I ever played. And I got through the game without using a guidebook, you know. It wasn't that difficult, to be honest. You know, the game and figuring out where to go and stuff. My whole thing with it, though, was I remember I finished the game with just the heart containers there, and I think I got like 6 pieces of heart total the whole game, so I only gained like 1 extra heart from there, because there's so many secrets, you don't know where to get these hearts from. They're in such random places that if you want 100% a game, good luck doing it without a guidebook. I mean, I wish you good luck, because you will have to search every crevice of every world in the game. And so, I don't know, it's not like a big thing. It's not like there's like controversy and debate over it. It's just some small thing I remember reading somewhere that guidebooks are kind of babyish. And I remember my parents used to always make fun of me when I bought guidebooks when I was little, when I wanted help and stuff like that. But it's always like games are kind of difficult. And like, I don't know, especially for Let's Plays. And I do feel like I do give myself the benefit of the doubt because I do Let's Plays. It's like, I don't want to get stuck on a part for 30 minutes, you know, and then have you guys just sit there watch me go duh for 30 minutes. So I like, you know, ending an episode short like I did the last episode, 7.5 minutes, come into the next episode, know exactly what to do, and you guys can watch me progress and then get stuck somewhere else 5 minutes later and then end the episode then and then progress some more and then the cycle repeats. Because that's how I work for RPGs. The only RPG games I really know are like New Vegas and Fable 2 and stuff like that. You know, games that really aren't that difficult to get your way through. But I'm talking mainly Nintendo games. I've noticed that's a, you know, common thing in Nintendo games. If you want 100% a Zelda game, you're almost going to need a guidebook. I don't see another way around it. Especially the classic original Zelda game. Oh my god, some of those walls, like, you have to bomb a wall that looks exactly the same as every other wall in the game, but one little, like, I don't know what they call it, pixel, I guess? I don't know what they call it in video games. I'm not a graphic designer or whatever you call them. Like, one little area of that world, the entire world, you bomb it, and you can go through there and find, like, a heart container or whatever. And it's like, how are we supposed to just know that? There's no way the game can just expect you to know this kind of stuff. It's insane to me. So I feel like a lot of video games are meant to have guidebooks with them, almost. But I almost feel like it's a dumb feature to have in games, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'm not dissing on the original Legend of Zelda game. I do like that game a lot. Never beaten it. I've gone like halfway through it, but I've never beaten that game. I should, though. I want to beat it eventually at some point in my life. But I do think, to a certain degree, why would you have that in the game? Like, first of all, if you've never looked at a guide or never looked at anybody, what incentive would you have to bomb a wall in the game anyway that looks like every other wall in the game? You wouldn't. And maybe there are, like, I guess, like, people you can talk to in the game that tell you about it. I don't believe there is. But, like, even if you knew to bomb the walls, it would take a crap ton of bombs to bomb every single wall in the entire game, which is, in essence, what you would have to do to find it, unless you used a guidebook. And even with a guidebook, it's pretty hard to track down, I have to admit. So I always found it weird that some games have features like that. I get, like, in some games where they kind of hide it, like, behind a tree or whatever, because then you could, like, maybe see it out of the corner of your eye. You know, it's kind of barely sticking out. Or, like, you have to find, like, a secret room or something. Or, like, go down a secret path or whatever. Those I'm fine with. But even those, because, like, Zelda games tend to have, like, 30, 40, 50 of those, you know, over the course of the whole game. And expecting people to find them all is hard. Again, I feel like I'm going on about a topic that, you know, is not really that, you know, debated anyway. I could be talking about violence in video games and stuff, but Nobody wants to hear about that. I don't think violence in video games is that bad. While we're on the topic of conversations like this, I might as well put my opinion on this. I've never believed video games like Call of Duty and stuff have a negative impact on children. It's a controversial topic. I do think that. I mean, I can see why there's a lot of debate over it, and I can see where both sides are coming from. But I don't think a game has ever single-handedly that made someone a murderer. I think it's almost like you're kind of born, not necessarily born with it. You're kind of raised with that attitude. I play Call of Duty. I play shooting games. I don't play them to kill people. I play them because they're fun and I like the experience of the game. If you're playing the game to kill, I feel like in essence the video game is not necessarily making you more of a killer, because Call of Duty is about military fighting. And so I'm sure most murderers have played games like that because I guess more or less they like killing. I don't know. I'm not a murderer. I wouldn't know what the mindset of a murderer is, and I'm not going to try to figure out what a mindset of a murderer is. But I don't think anyone's ever played Call of Duty and say, hey, this looks fun. I'm going to go shoot up some kids. I'm going to go shoot up a mall. I'm going to go shoot up a, whatever. I don't think that's necessarily what happens. I think video games may be a catalyst in some aspects, but I don't think a video game has ever single-handedly turned a kid bad. And if it has, that's more on the parents. Because if it has ever had that effect, it's because the kid played very young. I have had experiences where I go into GameStop, right, and I'm going to buy a game or whatever, and like I see kids with Call of Duty, and they're like 5, 6 years old. And I'm first thinking, like, what the hell? Why are you buying this game? Go play like Yoshi's Island or like Mario, Sonic, games that I play, because I'm like a 5-year-old in a 17-year-old kid's body. Yeah. But yes, I don't see, because I didn't grow up on Call of Duty. Like, I started playing Call of Duty like when I was like 13 years old. I was one of those dumb kids that followed the rules. My parents never let me play rated T games until I was 13. And as soon as I became 14, 15, I'm like, I don't give a crap what you guys say. I'm playing rated M games. But yeah, there's a reason it's rated M. I've always thought rated M games shouldn't be for 17 and up. I feel like a 14-year-old could handle violence like that. I feel like especially, maybe it's just because I don't know. I've always been more on the side with kids as far as things go. Like, not like 5 years old. But like, I do think a 13, 14-year-old is like mature enough to understand what you're seeing in the video game is not okay in real life. And that video games in real life don't equate correctly. Because when you're little, I remember I used to play Mario and Mega Man and stuff. I still do. And then you used to go, hang out with your friends. And what we used to do was kind of reenact it. We used to do that for Dragon Ball Z, I remember. That was a TV show and video games, but we did it for the TV show. You want to reenact like them. So, like, when you're very little, I could see you maybe not wanting to do Call of Duty because then you want to go and reenact that stuff. But even then, as a kid, you're not going to go bring guns to school and say, hey, let's have a real military fight. You're going to play fight. So I do think if you're a murderer, it's never because of a video game you've played. It's simply because, it was kind of going to happen regardless. I don't think playing Call of Duty ever made a kid a murderer before. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. Hey, what's going on the screen, by the way? We haven't talked about that yet, have we? It's not even a Let's Play anymore. It's just background noise to what I'm actually saying. Not really noise, background vision to what I'm actually saying, I guess. I do remember this puzzle that we're looking at right now did give me quite a bit of trouble. I looked it up online. I think that's what I'm actually doing right now, to be honest with you guys. So this might be kind of a long pause screen. Yeah, because I was talking over it. I was very angry at this point. So get ready for a little, long pause screen here. Yeah, so that was, at least we found 2 topics to kill a lot of time. But yeah, I mean, if you have your own opinion on it, you can let me know. Again, those 2 topics, mainly the latter one, because the former one, again, is probably that's why this personal life people have told me, you suck, why do you use guidebooks? And I'm like, F you, dude. I want 100% the game, It's like, it's not my fault. It's like, I've always been OCD about that stuff. I try not to be in Let's Plays, because, like, first of all, watching me 100% something is the most boring thing, and it could be humorous in some aspects. Like, if I ever do an Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask run through when I do the minigames, it's funny. I'm actually pretty good at those archery minigames, though, I have to admit. Like, the one with the ruby in Ocarina of Time, I'm good at that. The bomb chew bowling alley thing, I suck at that. I think that was in Majora's Mask. That game, no, that was Ocarina of Time, too, though. I think it was both. Whatever. I'm not playing those games right now. I'm playing Super Paper Mario, so let's talk about that. Well, that's not. I totally lost my train of thought. I don't even know where I was going with that whole thing. Yeah. I should just talk about controversial stuff for the next few episodes, because I'm only halfway done with this post-commentary stuff. I have a long way to go. Although I think one of the future episodes is like 6 minutes long before the final boss, so I can do that. But yeah, and then what appears here? A treasure chest. And I think there's a key in this treasure chest, right? Yeah. So we finally made progress thanks to looking up guides on the internet. Hurrah for guides, which is just what we talked about at the beginning of this episode. Perfect example of me doing that, by the way. But you guys should honestly, I mean, nobody ever gets mad at me in the comments, you know, when people talk and watch my videos and stuff. Nobody ever gets mad at me for doing it. I guess they can kind of understand where I'm coming from when I do it. Because had I not done that, this episode would have gone on for 5 more minutes, and then I would have said, screw it, I'm out, bye guys. And if I hadn't looked at a guide between that video and the next video, I would have spent like an hour trying to figure out what to do. So yeah, so there's that. And then you got these soccer guys. Whatever. I'm kind of a soccer fan myself, but that's a topic for another day. And I'm assuming a lot of you guys, I don't know, I have a lot of viewers from the UK, and I'm assuming, well, soccer is a lot more popular in England than it is here in the United States. Though I do have a couple friends that are fans of soccer here. So, yeah. Go America. Whatever. And with that, I think no, we have like 50 seconds. I can't stop talking yet. But I could almost start saying my goodbyes. This room. What was this room? Okay, this is one of those funky rooms. I do it in the next episode, though. Oh, God, that hurt. Yeah, I cleared all the enemies. I think I did know what to do in this room. And I almost remembered the path to do in this room. But I didn't. The path in this room is kind of a weird one. But yeah, I think I just wanted to clear out all the enemies first in this room. And then there is like a certain pattern you have to go through the room and whatnot. I'll explain all that in the next episode, though. So there's 16 seconds left, so I guess I'll start saying goodbye. In the next episode, hopefully we'll finish off this world, fight Dementia, and then move on to the last section of the chapter, if you will, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what you could call it. So bye.